1 in 12 university students have experienced homelessness in the past year. So barriers to student success. What are some barriers to student success? Call them out. Don't be shy. Transportation. Yeah. What else? Jobs. Supplies. Healthcare. Childcare. Mental health. Okay, y'all are doing pretty good. Look at this list. They should go. There we go. So take a look at this list. This list actually came from a study that Amarillo College out of Texas did. And they have completely redesigned their entire campus to meet student needs. And if you haven't been following what Russell Lowery Hart, the president there, is doing, you should write that down in your phone or on your notepad. Russell Lowery Hart at Amarillo College is doing amazing work to redesign their campus. And this list are the top 10 needs that he found that students say they're struggling with. There's not a single thing on this list that's academic. Not a single thing. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this chart, but y'all know SAT scores are not a predictor of how well somebody's going to do in school, not a predictor of achievement, right? Y'all know this? All it predicts is how well you achieved at being born into the family that you were born into, right? This top income quartile is represented by the dark line, and the bottom income quartile of students are represented in the dotted line. And this is SAT scores showing SAT scores compared to how likely you are to graduate by the time you're 24. But what happens if we infuse just a little bit of money into the pockets, a little bit of resources into the pockets of those individuals who are low income? That line starts to move. It's not perfect, but at least it's moving in the right direction. So how do we do that? How do we get students the resources they need? So this is where I want to share with you a little bit about Single Stop. And we think of Single Stop as being a holistic solution. We work to readily provide accessible resources to students, and we do partner with other organizations, but in this context to students, so that they can get access to the resources that they need that break down barriers to student success and retention. And we started as a nonprofit within the Robin Hood Foundation, with the idea being that there are more than 40 million Americans living across the country in poverty and billions of dollars of benefits and resources that are available to folks. In fact, McKinsey & Company estimated that there are $65 billion in public benefits that go unused or unclaimed every single year. But the issue is, how do you navigate to those resources? How do you help people navigate to those resources who really need them, who can benefit from them and supplement their traditional financial aid or their income to do things like stay in school? And that's where Single Stop comes in. And we've developed a technology and a program model that helps people do that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Our work in education is based on the fact that education is the #1 predictor of social and economic mobility. And we partner with colleges. We also partner with community-based organizations and government. But for our purposes today, we're partnering with colleges. We connect students to resources. They overcome their non-academic barriers to success because now they have funding to do things like buy groceries and not have to choose between groceries or books. And then they graduate. And it's really based on the fact that post-secondary education is a powerful lever for moving people out of poverty. More than 40% of our college students across the country are dropping out or stopping out, many citing financial barriers as the reason. Usually they say things like, life happened, and what that means is life has a price tag associated with it. And many low-income college students and their families are eligible for benefits, but they don't know, or they don't know how to apply, and so they're not getting those resources. The GAO released a report in January that focused on food insecurity among college students. What they found is that 57% of food insecure students qualify and are eligible for food stamps, but they're not getting it because they can't get connected to those resources. 57%. So the unmet need is huge, and I won't spend a lot of time on this graph either, but what you're looking at is unmet need in 1990 compared to unmet need in 2012. And at the far end of the graph is the bottom quartile, bottom income quartile. And those students are faring much worse, sorry. Faring much worse, fix that in the video. Faring much worse, a lot worse than people at the top income quartile. Unmet need over $8,000, and that was 7 years ago. So I'm sure it's even higher now. So how does Single Stop bridge the gap? So we're really a network facilitator, and what we do is we work with our partners to plan and advise with them on how to set up a Single Stop service hub, provide training and support about how to integrate it across their campus, and really work with them to bring these resources to their campus. So things like free financial counseling, free legal referrals, a free tax preparation program, which we actually now have the 5th largest tax program in the United States. We've done over 1 million returns in our tax program since 2007. And then we combine our technology with this program model that really wraps around people. And our technology has 4 components: a benefits eligibility screener, a local resources map so that students can see what they're eligible for, get the information they need to actually apply for that benefit, and then find local resources in their community that supplement that. So they might be eligible for food stamps, but rarely does anybody get approved for food stamps overnight. So they might need food now. So get them connected to that local food pantry or their shelter or mental health services or a healthcare navigator that can help them get those healthcare benefits. So really locating those local resources. And then our technology also has a case management tool which allows staff to track their benefit cases over time so that they can see in our data and reporting platform how the program is doing. How many students are they connecting and what are they getting connected to? And these holistic approaches really matter because we can more effectively and efficiently connect people to resources if it's all under one hub, right? If it's all bundled and then it's integrated on campus so that everybody knows how to make a referral, we can increase the likelihood that students will graduate. So a little bit about our partners and our impact. In North Carolina, thank you. In North Carolina, we were blessed with a gift from the John M. Belk Endowment that brought us here in 2014. And we started with our first partner at the end of 2015, and that was Nash Community College. And since that time, really over 3 years, more than 8,000, actually close to 9,000 students have been connected to over $14 million in benefits and resources. That's cash in the pockets of students to help them stay in school and graduate. We had one student at Nash Community College that was connected to $12,000 in benefits. $12,000. She was working 2 jobs, going to school and caring for her child, and she was able to quit one of those jobs so that she could focus on becoming a nurse at Nash. Huge. Across the country, we partner with about 100 organizations and colleges across 10 states. And since 2007, Single Stop and its partners have connected more than 1.9 million households to over $6.2 billion in benefits and resources. There's those 1 million tax returns that I told you about. We're pretty proud of that program because if you get people connected to those earned income tax credits and other tax credits that they're eligible for, that can be a huge infusion of cash combined with financial counseling. It can really take them far. And then, is it working? So I want to just start, actually I'm going to go back, maybe. Start by referencing a study that was done by RAND Corporation looking specifically at our North Carolina institutions. About 4 institutions were in that study. And what RAND Corporation found is that students who were utilizing Single Stop are more successful in college than students who aren't utilizing Single Stop. They have higher GPAs, they attempted and earned more credits, and they were persisting semester to semester more at higher rates than their peers who were not utilizing single stop. One institution actually had rates that were as high as 16 percentage points more than their peers who were not participating in single stop. I do want to reference, though, the study by Metis Associates. Metis Associates did a study not specific to our North Carolina institutions, but what was interesting about it is that it was a longitudinal study. So it looked at success from 2014 to 2017. And what Metis Associates found, and this study was just released earlier this year, is that students were more successful across every single category. 23 out of the 24 findings were statistically significant. All 24 findings were positive. 62%, students who utilized single stop had rates of persistence that were 62% higher than their peers who were not utilizing single stop. They had higher degree bearing credit pass rates, higher GPAs, and first-time in college students were graduating at rates that were double their peers who were not utilizing single stop. So this is huge. This is over from 2014 to 2017, what was happening with these students, specifically in Philadelphia, Community College of Philadelphia. And I want to talk now just very quickly about what this all means for us, right? So the work is tremendous, and we have a lot of data, not just in how many students are getting connected to resources and what those resources are, but we have a lot of data that we're collecting across the board about what those student needs are. And at the local institutional level, you can start to think about how you direct resources institutionally to meet those students' needs. We had one institution also who took their data and convinced with their data the local transit authority, this was here in North Carolina, to change the transit options for their students, increase bus routes, change bus routes, and make it so that every student could ride the bus for free. They knew they had a transportation problem, but they couldn't prove it till they had that data. There are also tremendous statewide implications, right? If we think about this work across the state and the types of data that we're collecting and how we can direct those government resources to really meet the needs of students across our state. In the K through 12 field, we've got an interesting partnership with Johnson C. Smith University that they're using single stop in their social work department to partner with Charlotte Mecklenburg schools to help those families connect to resources. And just think about that pipeline, right? If a child believes they have an opportunity to go to college, they're much more likely to actually go. And we can help them think about that ability to go to college by connecting them to connecting that whole family to the resources that they need. That supplements their traditional income, gives them that trampoline that they need to the resources that they need, so that they can really think about how to get their lives done and send their child to college. So thank you so much for the time this morning. I appreciate it.